cards, dealt me a hand with impossible odds. Put an obstacle course up, look, and I conquered them all. With minimal effort, I'm fresher than sucking your jaw.
Welcome to Truth Out of Context, Quan.
We got Shisui Sensei here, you know.
Welcome, and for today's topic, the dangers of bias and non-accountability. Now, recently I had did a poll on my Instagram, and I asked, is it possible to live 100% unbiased? And 81% said no. But the reason I bring that up is people don't understand the dangers of biasness with not holding people accountable. Let me give you an example. There was this guy, he went to this woman's house to break up with her, and she didn't take it well. He was getting ready to leave, but something told him to turn around. And he said this woman ran at him with a butcher knife. So he hit her and knocked her out. So her brother came in, and obviously he reacted like, you hit my sister. And the dude was trying to tell him, like, she tried to stab me. But he didn't care about that. He cared about the fact that he hit his sister. So he went after him, and long story short, he got the crap kicked out of him too. So, Shisui, before I even get to my perspective, what's your perspective on that?
Perspective just solely on the situation?
Yes. And the aspect of that biasness and non-accountability.
So, I mean, I guess to try to not just be like just one-sided, to try to look at the other side, because of course I'm gonna say like, yo, you know, because I know the whole context. She tried to kill him, you know,
right.
Whatever. So I know the whole context. But from him, I guess since that's his sister or whatever, I guess he in like a blind rage and not. Like, I could care less. She tried to kill you, whatever. Like, you hit my sister, and that's all he worried about. So, yeah, I can see where that, like, you know, where his argument would be at. But, yeah, he deserved to get his ass kicked.
Exactly.
It is what it is. And I'm glad dude didn't get stabbed in the back by the butcher knife, because that would have been tragic.
Right.
But I'm glad he turned around. He had the ultra instinct. He sensed it. Turn around, my man, because or her sneaking skill wasn't high enough. She didn't, you know, execute the assassination the right way. But It's all good. But my what I think is he probably was just overwhelmed with anger, not even worried about the fact that she tried to kill you or whatever. He just was worried about like, you hit my sister, you know.
Yep. Exactly. And see, like, that's why one of the biggest problems, I'm not saying that bias will never disappear, because I don't think it will, but the fact of the matter is that's the reason why certain people end up dead. Like, we've all heard stories where the dude might hit the female and he might kill the dudes trying to come after him, because they think of it like, what's the reason I'm gonna sit there and try to talk to him if they got that mentality of, it doesn't matter what this person did, your reaction is always the problem. So there's no point in talking to somebody, especially if they have bias and non-accountability, and we actually have to find a solution to this issue, because people are just going to keep getting hurt. It's easy to be like, and put yourself in that position and be biased like, oh, if that was me, or if that was my people, I would have. But what about actually putting yourself in the accountability situation? Like, there was another story, one of our friends told me about this dude accidentally tripped this girl on the bus, but he didn't apologize. So the girl called her sisters, and they beat the crap out of him. It's easy to be like, oh, if they would have called her sisters on me, but to be accountable, you could have been like, it wouldn't have went that far. I would have just been like, I accidentally tripped you, I apologize. So when it comes to solutions, what solutions do you have to actually fix this problem?
Well, first, exactly, like, just to clarify, what exactly, like, just the naked problem, like, what is the problem?
The problem is no one's addressing how these issues get started, and then when they escalate to a point where things getting ugly, somebody ends up getting hurt. So my solution is, if you can try to stop the problem before it happens, intervene. But if it does get out of hand, because you can't always stop everything, because some things happen just so fast, I say that you should just try to separate them and inflict some and put some conflict resolution in, instead of just acting out of hostile anger all the time. Well, so what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I could see if dude was like complaining about the outcome. I guess it would be worse. But I mean, I guess he didn't see it coming. I guess he had some pride in it. She said some out the way stuff, and then he immediately decided to, like, no, I'm not going to apologize. Or maybe she said something out the way, decided to apologize, or he was about to, and she was like, bitch, why did you just treat me or something like that? And immediately triggered and was like, yo, I have to apologize to this bitch. Like,
right.
But I mean, to be honest, situation like that, not even the exact same situation, but that's type of stuff to where I do something to somebody on accident and something, there's like a negative outcome, like something happens, they get hurt, whatever, or not even they get hurt, or they assume that I did something like ate their stuff or whatever, and then they say something out the way before I say something. So it's like, I'm like, yo, I can't just be like, oh, I'm sorry. I usually retaliate and be like, say something like a little quick remark or something, and like, no, I didn't eat your food, is right there type beat.
Right.
Not saying that's exactly what happened, but you know, as an example, like, I guess in his situation, maybe she said something out the way and he didn't want to say nothing at all. But yeah, he definitely could have resolved it. But I mean, I guess it just depends. Especially if he didn't mean it, like, just clarify it. I can't help myself to, like, I have like it's I don't know, it's a disorder or something. Like, when somebody says something, like, unless it's somebody I think is like completely irrelevant. Somebody I hate when somebody like thinks something of me that's not true, or says something of me that's not true.
Right.
And I just immediately have to like dispute it and like defend myself. And sometimes I get it. It used to be a bigger problem than it is now, but like it just get me immediately tilted. Like I just be mad. Like I just be on tip, and then because it's not true. And then, because I hate when people say something about me that, like, I just do. I cope with it a little bit more now. I got used to it. But I can't help but just say, yo, I didn't do. Right. I might not say it in, like, a positive tone of voice. So maybe if I was in that situation and I tripped over. Now, if she did say, did you mean to trip me? Or, like, something like that, then I'm like, no, I didn't mean it. But if she was like, why the fuck would you trip me, bitch ass, blah, blah, whatever. Yeah. I might say some unkind words, but I would definitely make sure she know that I didn't mean to trip her.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to be like, yeah, bitch, I did trip you. And what? What now? Not saying that. I mean, I still might have got attacked or whatever by her cousins or whatever, because I said something out the way, but I mean, I guess it depends on what she said initially, you know. So.
Yep. Yep. I'm glad you put it that way, but overall, I would like to say that when it comes to these kind of problems, in a sense, regardless of the bias you have, it's up to you to actually hold both sides accountable. Just like we said, even if a person probably might not respond to you, like, in a way that you want it, like, just like you said, you could say it in a way that you want to, but you still getting your point across. But to sum it up, I want to say, if you see a problem arise, try to solve it before it happens. But if it does escalate to a certain hostility, try your best to get involved. Make sure everybody calms down, because no one can really talk when you're yelling over somebody and shouting and threatening to do something to someone. And try to break everything down when everyone's calm. Talk to each other and try to find a possible resolution. And if you can't seem to find a resolution, right then there, just do your best to walk away. But what y'all think? Comment down below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go check out Shishui. And until next time, stay strong and don't take what we say out of context. Peace and love.